That's no good. Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back. Happy Monday. And I've decided to continue doing the revisits just because I'm just curious how the videos are going to compare and how my tasting notes have evolved. There wasn't very much new in terms of the Talisker that I reviewed. Very much stayed the same. So I'm curious to see if I am able to kind of pull different notes in my next one, which would be my second review that I put up on YouTube. Where is it? The Connemara. That's next video. Wild Turkey 101. This one here was my first bourbon that I used to essentially work into liking bourbon. I always found bourbon very, very sweet and somewhat unapproachable. But using a bourbon that I can mix into an old fashioned where it's not diluted enough really helped acclimate my palate to liking bourbons. So if you don't like bourbon, or if you have never tried bourbon, get Wild Turkey 101 and mix it into old fashions. That's usually what I like to suggest if you haven't gotten into bourbon, is to kind of use the cocktail as a way of easing into it. So enough of that. Wild Turkey 101, obviously the 101 is in reference to the proof, so that is 50.5% ABV. It's a Kentucky bourbon, and right away you get everything that's sort of prevalent in a lot of bourbons, but specifically a lot of Kentucky bourbons. You get a lot of vanillas, you get a lot of oak spice, you get a bit of like I should mute this. You get a lot of cherries, a little bit of like a burnt molasses almost. There's a bit of a waxiness to it as well. I'm not too sure if I want to say that it's walnut. Maybe like, what are they called in English? Chestnuts. English being my first language, I'm like, what do you call this thing? In Italian, they're called castagne. And what we do a lot of times, and people do it all the time anyways, not just Italians, but you roast them in the oven or on a open flame, and they burn up, and then you just peel back the shell, and the inside's nice and like got this like rich, waxy, nutty taste. The smell is reminiscent of chestnuts. A little bit. I could be mistaken. It could be very much influenced, but I think that's what it is. Alright, on the taste. Cheers. So right away, the proof kind of gets you a little bit. Kind of stings a little bit. But then you're left with a rich, almost more of vanilla bean versus like a vanilla extract or vanilla ice cream, more of like a vanilla bean. A lot of oak, and the oak notes kind of envelop your mouth. Not that it's oily, but there is a good amount of like a coating on your palate that's really nice. It lingers. A little bit of the cherry, a little bit of the that nuttiness kind of comes through as well. It's a nice mixer. It's really nice, neat as well. I think this is my third bottle Yeah, no, it's just and for about $40 Canadian, and I'm pretty sure it's like $25-$30 in the States. It's a great, great budget bourbon for everyday drinking. Very, 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 very enjoyable. With my last video, The Botanist, where I reviewed a Scottish Islay gin, link up here, I ended off the video with a quick Negroni made with the gin. Unfortunately, as professional as I am, I don't have a clean glass. I guess I could probably make an old fashioned in this. All right, why not? Let me add a little bit more wild turkey into this. So a lot of people have their own different ways of making an old fashioned. It's about an ounce and a half to closer to an ounce and a half. Have their own way of making an old fashioned. I quite enjoy the way I make them. Nice and easy in there. Wild turkey, 4 dashes of what is that? Angostura bitters. I can never pronounce it properly. I probably pronounced it wrong too. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And because I'm Canadian, instead of like a sugar cube or simple syrup or anything like that, just some basic pure maple syrup. And usually, I don't know, just rough it, about a half a tablespoon or so. Obviously you can mix in however the quantity you want based on your taste, right? If you don't like a lot of that sort of maple sweetness, cutting the bourbon, use a little bit less, but I find it makes it a little bit, makes the cocktail a little bit richer and thicker, especially on the mouthfeel. So yeah, so there's the Canadian Old Fashioned, as I tend to call it. An ounce and a half of Wild Turkey 101, 4 dashes bitters, 1 ice cube, and some maple syrup to taste in a Glencairn. Lovely. Now, again, normally I'd get some orange in there, but I don't make cocktails very much anymore, at least at home. Usually when I'm out, that's my cocktail time, but no, I would also put an orange skin in there, so, but not today. Sorry, guys. So with that, we'll call it a day. Wild Turkey 101, it's a must-have if you like bourbon. I think it's a must-have if you want to try to get into bourbon. For cost purposes, it's a great small investment in trying to go down the road of bourbon. So yeah, level 3, right? Did I say level 3? I can't even remember now. Yeah, level 3 for the Wild Turkey 101, just solid bourbon. Yeah, so we'll leave it for that for the day. We'll leave it at that for today. I can't speak, god damn it. So yeah, if you guys are enjoying these revisits, let me know. I guess also take a look at my original Wild Turkey review if you guys want to. I don't know why. Like, comment, subscribe, follow us on all our stuff. In the meantime, guys, stay classy and stay safe, and cilantro.